vaccine. Tonight, Angie Gonzalez is live in Richmond Hill, Queens, which has the highest COVID positivity rate in the city. Angie.
Yeah, that's right, Cheryl. Isn't it hard to believe that just a couple of months ago we had people waiting in long lines just to get a COVID test? And now we're at the point where we're offering people incentives to get the COVID vaccine. But when it comes to those positivity rates, we wanted to dig a little deeper to find out what they really mean. It's announcements like these we've become accustomed to getting on a daily basis.
Latest numbers, 0.7% positivity, lowest since August 30th.
This is a really great number, 1.10%. Let's keep pushing it down. Let's get it below 1.
Officials touting the decline in the COVID positivity rate, their way of tracking the city and state's progress in the fight against COVID-19. But a closer look at how that number is calculated shows it may not actually provide a clear picture of current infections.
We have to remember that it is the prevalence of the virus among people who are testing for the virus, not among all New Yorkers.
According to state records, COVID testing across the city has taken a dive. April 16th, a whopping 30,000 tests were administered across the 5 boroughs. But now the lines we saw in months past have disappeared. The average so far this week is right around 13,000 tests. Local health officials say this was expected because as the pandemic progresses, so does their focus.
The only major tool that we had from the public health approach was to have testing and tracing. Now, as Dr. Shakshi has discussed, we have an incredibly powerful tool, vaccination. So those people who are fully vaccinated don't need to participate in the routine testing that we have.
That shift comes after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced it was no longer recommending testing for those who are fully vaccinated. That is not the case for those who are still unvaccinated.
I would emphasize for people who remain unvaccinated, testing remains a very important part of our layered approach to keeping people safe.
So continued testing in places like South Ozone Park and Richmond Hill could be vital in the fight against COVID. Those 2 zip codes have the 2 highest positivity rates in the entire city, both hovering around 3%.
I'm a little surprised because I do see people masking up and stuff.
People don't know where to go to get these vaccines.
Vaccinations in both Richmond Hill and South Ozone Park are also on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to total residents who are fully vaccinated, both coming in just a little higher than 40%.
We know how that the rate of vaccination really varies by geography. It varies by demographics, and it varies by age.
Now, Nash does agree that fully vaccinated New Yorkers don't need to continue testing. He just wants them to be aware that vaccination does not make you immune to the virus. We do know, however, Cheryl, that the vaccine does give you an extra layer of protection from getting sick or seriously ill. And when it comes to vaccination or when it comes to COVID testing, both are now more widely available. In fact, sometimes you can actually find both of them happening at your local pharmacy. In Richmond Hill, Angie Gonzalez. Cheryl, back to you.
Angie, thank you for that. We move next to Brooklyn, where a man is indicted